We found a bucket full of just random little quartz and gems and stones. What should I make from this? I think we'll make a little miner hut. I think I got the perfect little dollar store birdhouse for a hut. It's nice and round. And we're going to take the perch off, of course, and then we'll take off the bottom. And of course, we'll cut off the string from the top. I also went into the shop and drilled some big holes around it because I'm going to put a candle in here and we want something to shine through. I like to try something new with every project I do, and this time I'm going to try to do kind of a canvas looking roof this time around. So I got a bunch of these little bamboo skewers and I'm going to glue them in even intervals all the way around the top to kind of give us a base for the cloth to glue to. When that was all dry, I went ahead and base coated the whole thing in brown, so we have a nice sealed project. Now we're going to do something new again, and we're going to cover this whole thing in clay. My idea is I'm going to cover this and then I'm going to carve out some stone shapes. Once I get this clay all stuck on there and the holes dug out, I'm going to start making, first I'm going to make here is a door, and I'm just going to carve into it, just kind of like you're drawing a picture. So where would the door go and where would all the rocks go? Not too bad. Now we'll let it dry. Now, one thing I did find out, this is air dry clay, is once it dried, it did shrink a little bit. So what that meant is it caused some cracks, and you'll see in a minute that I had to go in and kind of put some dabs of glue here and there, but it's okay because this is a rock house. So the older, the dingier, the more lived in it looks, hey, it works for me. Now we're going to go ahead and paint it. So I'm going to do the grout, kind of a sandy color. This looks more yellow here. And I'm just going to glob this on. No rhyme or reason. Don't worry about staying with it within the lines here. Because once we go back over it, we're going to fill in all the little rocks. And I just had fun with it. I used every color that was semi-rock colored and just alternated it and filled in all the little circles. also painted the door using my gel stain, and it had a kind of a cool reaction to it. It soaked in and it still gave a good wood texture look. I was quite happy with it. Now that we got that all painted and dried, I'm going to do kind of a wash over the top. So what I want to do is just a squirt of black paint and a bunch of water. All I'm going to do is glob it all over, and then I'm going to pat it dry with the paper towel. And what this does is it kind of gets in all the little cracks and crevices that initially I couldn't get paint into, and it fills in everywhere and kind of makes all the colors and things pop and gives it a little more dingy look. Now we're going to tackle the roof, and I just found this piece of material. I flipped it over to the other side, so I figured that side looked a little more canvasy, and I just cut it to the size of the roof and made a cone. And I made it a little bit too big on purpose, because what we're going to do is we're going to squish it into all the crevices so it's a little more wavy and it's got some more ruffle to it. And it looks like it just landed right on top of there. And doing this, I'm finding that you need a lot more glue than you think you do, because you want it just to glop through and seep through, and it'll harden the material into a harder top. And you're just gonna fiddle with it until it just folds and creases just right. I even put it upside down in a jar of pencils just so it would have some funky creases. And you just fiddle with it for a very long time until it dries. There we go. You can't tell, but all that glue hardens and it makes a nice little effect. And I decided that I needed some patches on there because, you know, you get holes in your roof. You got to fix them up. So we'll put some patches of all the leftover cloth that these little guys had. course, I have to add moss everywhere. I had some leftover sawdust moss that I made from the last time, and I just put it in some random cracks and crevices and even a little bit on the roof. And now we're going to make the base where this is going to sit. Like I said, when we moved here, and we got a kind of a very rural property, and we have a couple barns, and in one of the barns we just found a bucket full of stones. So I've never known what I wanted to do with it, so I decided I'd pick a few nice flat ones and I'll just glue them on randomly, and that way this hut is kind of like a little miner's hut. He's living there amongst the caves and the crystals, and he just built himself a little house. Once I had all the rocks placed and glued down, of course I have to add some, well, I don't have to, but I want to add a bunch of greenery because I like the mix of the hard and the soft. So I'm going to add some grass everywhere there's a bare spot, which there isn't much. This is a pretty simple base. And then I added a few little random trees and twigs that I had. Go, a cute little house. I think it turned out really cool. I tried some new things. So I tried with the clay on the side, and I think it turned out pretty good. And I also tried out making a canvas roof, and I thought that turned out great. I also put a candle underneath of it, and that way it gives kind of a nice glow inside when it's dark out, and I hope you like it. Hey, as usual, thanks so much for watching. You guys are so awesome. I love you. I do. And if you like this video, definitely give me a thumbs up like. And if you haven't already, it would be great if you subscribed. And I'll see you in the next one. Let's see what I'll dream up next time. See you later. Bye-bye.